Hello students, welcome back. So today we are going to discuss your chapter 2 of history, that is Socialism in Europe and Russian Revolution. This chapter we will discuss in two parts, that is Socialism in Europe and second part will be Russian Revolution. Now what is the meaning of socialism here? Socialism means common ownership. Now what is the meaning of common ownership? Common ownership means everybody having the right to participate in decisions on how global resources will be used. So under socialism, the means of production are controlled by society or government as a whole. Social welfare is the main motive of the socialist society. This system is against any private property or private or individual ownership. Socialism has its origin in the French Revolution of 1789 and the changes brought about the Industrial Revolution. The French Revolution opened up the possibility of creating a dramatic change in the way in which society was structured. So with this background, let's start with chapter 2 of your grade 9th history. Now page 25 of your NCERT book, here the topic is Age of Social Change. Now students recall the story of French Revolution which you have discussed earlier. French Revolution started in 1789. Louis XVI was the monarch of France and he was executed in 1793 and the dictatorship was established in France in 1799 by Napoleon. This you know, this you have done in your earlier chapter. As you have already read that before the 18th century, French society was broadly divided into states. That is, first estate, that is clergy, second estate, nobility and third estate, common people. So, the French society was divided into different estates, 3 estates and orders, and it was the aristocracy and the church, that is nobility and the clergy, which controlled all the economic and social power in France. Now, French Revolution laid down the ideals of liberty, equality and fraternity. These were the core ideas which we got from the French Revolution. So these ideas of French Revolution created a possibility of change in the society. As these ideas got circulated, it created a possibility of change in the society. People became aware of all these ideals in the society. So students, for change, we can say that French Revolution gave a fertile ground. But this idea for change varied all over the Europe. Different people have different idea about change also, like some wanted gradual change, that is slow change, whereas some wanted radical change, that is instant or quick change. So we can say that there were different political traditions such as liberal, radicals and conservatives. Now we will discuss their ideology in detail. Now page 26 of your NCERT book. Now here on this page we have to discuss the ideology of liberals, radicals and conservatives in detail, and this is very important topic. So let's start with liberals. So first point under liberals wanted a change in society. So they want to change society. Second, they wanted equality among religions and nations should tolerate all religions. That is, all religions should be considered equal according to liberals. Third point, they opposed the uncontrolled power of the dynastic monarch, that is, the unlimited power of the monarch. They were against this, that why the monarchy was having all the unlimited powers. Fourth, they argued for a representative elected parliamentary government, that is, representative government in which we elect our representatives and they make policy decisions on our behalf. Fifth, they supported judiciary which must be well trained and independent. That is, judiciary should not be under the pressure of government or any political party so that they can take the fair decisions. Sixth, however, they were not Democrats. That is, these liberals were not Democrats because they did not believe in universal adult franchise and wanted only men with property should have right to vote. Now students, this liberal did not want the right to vote for women. Though they were liberals, that is open-minded people, but still they don't want voting rights for women. So this was about liberals. Now let's see the ideology of radicals. Radicals now, first point, they wanted a government which must be based on majority of country's population, and they supported women's voting movements. They opposed the privileges of great land owners and wealthy factory owners because they disliked the concentration of property in few hands, because this was creating disparity, inequality in the society. And radicals wanted a quick change. So this was about radicals, those who supported the quick change. So they were in favor of women's voting rights, but liberals were against women voting rights. Now let's see the conservatives. Conservatives were the group of ruling class, those who were ruling, like monarchy, and persons in power who initially opposed the change. So they were against change. Conservatives were against change and they were supporters of monarchy. Second, but after French Revolution, they were ready for the change, as they have seen that changes can be there after the revolution. So after the French Revolution, it was very much evident that they want change, and change is inevitable. Because they understood that the change was inevitable, that is, changes must in the society. But conservatives believed that the past had to be respected and change has to be brought about only through a slow process. That if change is there, it should be very slow. So all these different ideas, ideologies played a very important role in the world politics in those years. Now the next topic on your page 26 is industrial society and social change. So during 19th century, society was changing. How it is changing? Socio-economic changes were taking place. Why? Because new cities were coming up, new industrialized regions were developing, railways expanded, industrial revolution was there. But this industrialization brought many problems with it, like long working hours. So it was exploitation of the workers, you can say, like long working hours, poor wages, unemployment, housing problems, sanitation problem, unhygienic conditions, overcrowded areas. So all these were the problems which industrialization brought with itself. Now liberals and radicals, they also wanted solutions to all the issues. Now on page 26 of your NCERT book, we have discussed about industrial society and social change. That is, during the 19th century, the society was changing. How the society was changing because of the industrialization that was taking place. So as industrialization was taking place, so people were migrating from the rural areas to the cities. So with industrialization, many other problems also came up, like the problem, sanitation problem, overcrowded cities, unhygienic condition, housing problem, then the exploitation of the working class, that is the long working hours they have to work, and poor wages they were getting. So these are the problems which industrialization brought with itself. Now liberals and radicals, they also wanted solution to these issues. Now on page 27 of your chapter, continuing the same topic, here liberals and radicals themselves, they were often property owners and employers. So the liberals and radicals, they were also having property and they also used to employ people. So these liberals and radicals, they were aware of the workers should be educated, the workers should be healthy, then only the society can progress. So these liberals and radicals, they believe that society will progress if workforce in the economy was healthy and the citizens were educated. Obviously, if the working population is healthy and fit, then only the economic progress can be possible. So they believed in the value of individual effort, labor and enterprise. So if the people having private property, it is good for the economic development of the country. The people having property, they will be able to invest and they will be able to create infrastructure, and then employment opportunities will be created as people will get employment. So economic growth and progress of the society will be possible. So some of these liberals and radicals, they wanted change in the society and they wanted revolutions to put an end to the kind of government which was established in Europe in 1815. Now what is this? Now understand which kind of government we are talking of. 1815, which was established in Europe. Now, in your French Revolution, you have studied that Napoleon became emperor in 1804, and he was defeated at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. So dictatorship of Napoleon came to an end in 1815, and again the Bourbon monarchy was restored in France in 1815. As Napoleon was defeated according to the Treaty of Vienna in 1815, the Bourbon monarchy, the Bourbon kings again got restored in France. Means again the conservative regime. Who were the conservatives? We have studied that they were supporters of monarchy. So again the conservative regime, it came to be established or restored in France in 1815, and this conservative regime was autocratic. What is the meaning of autocratic here? Means one man rule, and they did not accept any disagreement from these liberals, revolutionaries and radicals. That is, they don't want any criticism. This monarchies now, which again got restored in 1815, they don't want any criticism, any disagreement from now liberals, radicals and revolutionary. But these revolutionaries across the Europe from different countries like France, Italy, Germany, Russia, so they worked secretly now to overthrow these existing monarchies. Now here we will talk about one of the important revolutionary. His name was Mazzini, and he was Italian revolutionary, and he worked for the Italian unification. This we will study in detail when we will study the unification of Italy. Now moving to page 28 of your NCERT book, The Coming of Socialism to Europe. So you know very well now what is socialism, what is the ideology of socialism now. Socialism means common ownership. I have told you what is the meaning of common ownership. Means everybody having a right to participate in the decisions on how global resources will be used, and in the socialism the means of production are controlled by society or government, and there is no concept of individual ownership in socialism. So this idea of socialism was now spreading throughout the Europe. By mid-19th century, the idea of socialism attracted widespread attention, and those who followed this idea came to be known as socialists. So the people who are associated with this ideology came to be known as socialists. Now obviously socialists were against private property, and they saw it as a root of all social ills. Now why this is so? Why they used to think so? Because individual owned property. Obviously individuals having property, that is private property, and workers work under them. If any individual entrepreneur is there, he will set up the factory, that is his ownership, that is under his control, and workers used to work under him. But they are concerned with the personal gains. Obviously the entrepreneur, one of the main aim of setting of any business, any industry is profit making. So they are concerned with the personal gains, that is profit only, and not with the welfare of the workers, that is the persons who make the property productive, that is workers. They have not, these entrepreneurs have nothing to do with the welfare of the workers. They are just concerned with their profit making. So this is exploitation of the working class. Therefore, socialists wanted a society as a whole should control the property. So socialists wanted a change, and this kind of change where all the means of production are controlled by a society and not any individual. Now we will see different socialists. They had different vision of the future, like Robert Owens, Louis Blanc, Karl Marx, Friedrich Engels. They had given ideas about how could a society without property operate. So different questions are there, and they have given their suggestions and their ideas about that how could a society without property operate, what would be the basis of a socialist society. Now we will talk about these ideas of Robert Owens and Louis Blanc. Some of the socialists believed in the idea of cooperative. So what is their answer to this is the cooperative. They are talking about cooperatives here. Now what do you mean by cooperatives? These cooperatives were to be association of people who produce goods together and divided the profit according to the work done by the members. So pooling of resources, joint production and then division of the profit. This is their idea of cooperatives. Now, two thinkers talked about cooperatives here, that is Robert Owen and Louis Blanc. Now, Robert Owen, a leading English manufacturer, he sought to build a cooperative community called New Harmony in Indiana, USA through collective individual initiatives. So, here Robert Owens is talking about the individual initiative, that any individual can take an initiative and can form a cooperative. But Louis Blanc, he supported the government. That now Louis Blanc added further that the government should be there who will encourage the cooperatives to replace the capitalist enterprises. Government should be there to facilitate the cooperatives according to Louis Blanc. Now let's discuss the ideas of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. They both added some more arguments to the idea of socialism. Marx argued that industrial society was capitalist. Obviously, capitalists owned the capital invested in the factory. They were the owners of the factories, and the profit of the capitalists was produced by the workers. So they are making profit making, and they are not taking any care of the welfare of the workers. And the condition of the workers could not improve as long as this profit was accumulated by the private capitalists. Obviously, they are just concerned with their profit making and they are not concerned with any welfare of the workers. It means the entrepreneurs, the capitalists, they are exploiting the working class. So workers, according to Marx, workers had to overthrow this capitalism and the rule of private property. So it is who will bring the change? The working class, the workers themselves. They will throw away this capitalist. And this would be a communist society. According to Marx, a communist society was the natural society of the future. Now page 29 of your NCERT book, the topic here is support for socialism. In your earlier topics on page 28, we have talked about the coming of socialism to Europe. Here we have talked about the socialism, what kind of society this socialist wanted, that socialists wanted the society as a whole should control the property, no private individualship they want. Here we have seen the ideas of Marx, we have seen Louis Blanc, Robert Owens, they were talking about cooperatives, and then they further added the argument cooperatives should be controlled by the government, and Karl Marx is having altogether different views that the workers has to overthrow the capitalism and they have to establish the rule of the working class. So now moving to your page 29, the support for socialism. So it was growing now. By 1870s, socialist ideas spread through Europe. To coordinate these efforts, socialists formed an international body, namely the Second International. So this body was formed by the socialists in order to coordinate their efforts so that more and more socialist organization and this idea should be spread throughout the Europe. Similar associations were being formed in different parts of the Europe, like in Germany also the Social Democratic Party was formed, in England Labour Party was formed in 1905, and in France also Socialist Party was formed. So this socialist association, what was the agenda behind forming this association? They were fighting for the better living condition of the workers. They set up funds to help the members, demanded a reduction in the working hours and right to vote. So these were the few issues on which these associations were fighting. However, till 1914, socialists never succeeded in forming a government in Europe.